All right, let me give this a second here, make sure everything is cool. All right, so I wanted to try something a little different today. I was actually looking at a old project I worked on years ago for when I did county work and stuff like that. And basically what I had done is I needed in the app to be able to click on parcels and then dynamically label the measurements for the parcel, right? So like on this parcel here, what I want to happen is I want to label the length for this side, the length for this side, the length for this side, and this side, right? Just a quick label. That's all people needed. Doesn't need to be 100% accurate. I just need people, my users at the time, just wanted to be able to quickly get a glance at what the measurements for a parcel were, right? If you're lucky, you maybe got a line layer you can use or something, but a lot of times it's just polygons on the map. You got to figure it out, right? So the concept itself is pretty simple, but there's a few steps you need to go through to do it inside of a web app, right? And you can use that inside the JavaScript API with the geometry engine. So there's a couple of really cool methods in here that we're going to take advantage of, right? So I'll talk about a few of them, but mainly we're just using distance, right? Well, actually, no, not distance. I'm sorry. You could use distance, but we're going to go ahead and use the geodesic length. So let me go ahead, open this up over here, and we're going to take advantage of the fact that I'm going to create lines from my polygon and measure those lines, right? We have to do something else as well before we can actually do that. So let's go ahead and get started here. I've got the cruft of this application built, everything down to the hit test to find my graphic when I click on here, right? So let's go ahead and get started here with my little to-do. So the first thing I want to do is, if we look at the actual geometries for the graphic and you have it added here, this geometry is made up of a bunch of different line segments, right? So polygons have rings. It's an array of arrays of arrays. And basically I'm saying here that I'm going to go from this point to this point to this point, right? So A, B, C. But notice this looks like it's 4 sides, but there's not 4 vertices in here, right? There's a bunch of them. I don't want to label each of these. So if we do something here real quick, let's play around with something here. So let me go ahead and make a little function in here, and I'm going to go ahead and call this function. What should I call it? 2 mid points, right? And this function is going to take a geometry, and so we need. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out how we need to iterate through this to get the lines out, right? So first thing I want to do is I want somewhere to put my line segments as I'm creating them. Okay, then I need to get the coordinates. I need the XYs somehow. So let's go ahead and create something here. X, we'll call it XYs is going to be equal to the geometry rings, and let me grab the first one, right? Because the geometry, if we look at it here, it is an array of arrays, right? So I need this first array in here. So I'm going to go and grab this first one here. And this is like this in case you've got, so this would work for a basic polygon feature, right? If you've got multi-polygons happening or holes in polygons happening, that's a different story. I'm not going to cover that. This is just basic for straight up regular polygons. So I'm going to grab the first array in here so we can work with this one. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm grabbing the XYs, right? Because each of those is a coordinate. I want the length of this. So I need to know how many features are in here. Because I could do a couple of different ways to map over this data and stuff. I'm going to stick with a good old-fashioned for loop. So excuse me as I show my age, just looping over this thing like this. All right. So, okay, nothing fancy. Just going to loop right over it and start doing some stuff. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a line from the first pair of features, right? So from the first one and the next one. So let's do it like this. So we're going to say that my let's just do this. Yeah, let's say the path is going to be equal to. So the path I want to use, it needs to be an array. So if we look at, actually we can go over here. Let's go ahead and do this. Polyline, right? So let's look at the polyline, look at the properties here. It takes a paths, right? So it's an array of arrays, right? So basically, we have something in here that looks like the first path, right? So these are the vertices making up the first line segment, and then there might be another line segment, and so on and so forth. All right, so that's basically how we're going to iterate through this bit here. So this isn't complex. It should be fairly simple. So we're going to do the XYs for the first one, and then I want the next segment. So I'm going to go and do the XYs for the next one plus 1, right? I think that's pretty standard there. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the create a line. So I'm going to create a line from that. So let's create a line is going to be equal to a new polyline. And I'll show you why I'm actually using a new polyline and not going to rely on AutoCasting to do this for me in a second. It's actually, I don't need all this. So I can just pass my paths over here. So let's just say that I went this route, right? I take all of my line segments from this polygon and I want to label them somehow. Well, what is that going to look like? So let me go ahead and do something like just a quick and dirty, show you how this works. View.graphics.add. I think I need to have attributes with an empty thing here for this to work. And the geometry would be something like line.extent.center. So that should add a graphic, a point. Nope, and it didn't. All right, what's going on here? Come on, people. Oh, I'm not calling it. All right. I never actually called it. So okay, so let me get the geometry from this one. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's do 2 midpoints result dot graphic dot geometry. Okay, so let's go and do this here. Paths is not defined. Oh, my bad. Spelled that wrong. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try it again. Bam. What's going on here? T is, I don't know what that is. I don't care. All right. So basically, these are all the different line segments here. Now, I don't want to label every line segment. I just need a very general idea of what the distance is between here and here and here and so on. So I need 4 sides. 4 labels. That's all I want. I don't need all these different labels in here. So before I pass this geometry to this function, I want to generalize it, right? So Geometry Engine has a function for this. Generalize. So basically I want to pass it to geometry, the maximum deviation, right? So this is the maximum deviation between the points. So if I want to generalize between this point and this point, I have to give it like a kind of a number that I can work with to deviate from the precision. Is precision? Accuracy? Oh shit. Let's go with precision, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry. And then remove degenerate parts. I mean, everyone wants to get rid of the degenerates, right? But come on, degenerates rule the world, people. So I'll just go ahead. It could mess up kind of the drawing. It's basically what it's telling you here. It could make lines that should have like very like peaks and stuff. It'll kind of get rid of them. But if you want to keep that distance there and just kind of, yeah, you get the idea. We don't want to generalize that much, right? So okay, so let's go ahead and do this then. So I'm going to go ahead and say that my geom is going to be equal to, and I already imported these functions in here from Geometry Engine. So I'm going to generalize. Let me go ahead and copy this here. this geometry. I'm going to go with 0.0001. And no, do not get rid of the degenerate parts. Now I'm going to pass the geometry to this 2 midpoints function here. And cross my fingers, this is going to work. No. What did I do? Oh, Jesus. I'm going to learn to spell at some point in my life. Okay, so we got this. All right, all right. Geom, not geoms. Pretty much my entire day is just fixing typos when I'm writing code. And bam, there we go. Okay. So that is where we want our labels to be, right? So now it's going to be, these are the centers of each line. So I have a vertices here, here, and here, right? Actually, I've got 2 because I need the beginning of this line, end of this line, beginning of this line, end of this line, beginning of this line is blah, blah. You get the idea. All right, but this is good. This is a great start. So now what can I do? So I don't want to do this. No, I'm not going to add that. What I do want to do is I need a couple things. So I need the length for those lines. Right, so I'm going to go and say the length is going to be equal to the geodesic length of the line, and I want that measurement in feet. Bam, like so. Okay, so now what I can do is I want to save this. I don't want to add it just yet. I'm going to push it into my array here. And I'm going to go ahead and just make it look like a graphic. It's going to be a graphic, but I'm just going to push it in here. And I could give it some dumb attributes if I want to, but I don't need to. So now I say the geometry is going to be equal to the line extent dot center. And okay, so that's what we got now, right? But I want a label here. So I need a text symbol. So what I'm going to do is, because I want that label for the text symbol to reflect what is going the value for the length. I think I could probably do it like an arcade expression or something, but you know what? I arcade is not my strong suit, people. So if I sit here and attempt to write an arcade expression that could do that, we'd probably be here for a while, and I would probably have to ping Christian Ekinus and be like, dude, like, I know I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, so we're going to do it just an old school kind of create my function here. So type is going to be a text. I have this little creator function, a generator for my symbol. Type is going to be a text. I'll just make it white. I'm going to want a halo. So it's going to be a halo color. We'll make it black. And let's make the halo size, let's go big, 2 pixels. There we go. Let's go ahead and make the font a little bigger. So we're going to go size 14. Let's give it a weight, bold, and then here's the fun part. So the text, right? It's going to be a the value I pass in. So text, and then I want to put the little feet indicator there, little tick mark, quotation mark, what is it called? Why doesn't it like that? What's going on here? Did I do something wrong? Oh, jeez. I don't know why I put that there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to use this. So now I have the length over here. So now what I can do is I can say the symbol is going to be equal to create text, create text symbol is past the length, but we're going to shorten it, or else it's going to be like 8 digits and stuff. We don't want that. Okay, so now when I click on this, what's going on? 0 of undefined. I don't know what that is. We'll figure it out in a second. Convert I don't know what's going on here. This could just be something I'm doing wrong on my end, but we'll figure it out. We'll see if the error means anything. All right, first off, let's go ahead and see if I can get the damn thing to show up. So. Okay. So now that I've got my for loop here, I'm going to do view dot graphics dot add many, because I'm going to add the entire array of midpoints. I probably could have called them labels. I don't know. Naming things is hard. And no, that didn't work. Okay, so what did I do wrong here? All right. Geodesic length line. It's a new polyline. All right. Feet. So where's the error coming from? Okay. Hold on. So I know this worked. Let's try this. Console.log len. All right. Okay. Let's clear that up. Yeah, so length works. Yeah, that's working. I don't know why it's not. Where's the error coming from? Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Oh, jeez. I is greater than length -1. Oh, bad for loop. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's close this. I bet you it's going to work now. All right. Bam, and there we go. Labels on my parcels, right? So this is 659 feet, 329, 330. A very rough estimate, but a lot of times users just want very quick references for something like this, right? It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I would never tell anyone to use GIS data for anything in terms of like, legal documents or something like that. Like if I need to measure and stuff, I'm not going to put down that this parcel is exactly 659.24 feet and so on and so forth and put that in some sort of legal document. No way. Go to the survey info for that, people. They used to tell me, quick lesson I learned working at county was that GIS data is not for legal purposes. If you go directly to the source for that. Survey maps, CAD data, something. That's way more accurate. But again, like I said, this is for some quick and dirty info that you can provide for your users. Basically, the idea here is you're going to take your polygon, generalize the polygon, right, down to something more manageable. And then you're going to go ahead and break that polygon up into lines, which you're doing here. Which basically, just remember, when you're looking at polygon is made of rings. And each of these rings is made up of a coordinate. Right, and the array, it's just an array to hold the coordinates in here. So you're going from point A to point B to point C and so on and so forth. So each of these is a point, and you can connect a bunch of points to make a line, right? That's essentially how you would explode an array, right? So, I'm sorry, how do you explode a polygon? So you do that, and you're good to go. Now you can go and start labeling things. So I'll link this sample up in the description for this video below, so you can check it out, play around with it, have some fun. But yeah, that's what I wanted to cover today. I just got kind of excited because I saw this old had an old JS bin pop up somewhere where I had done this to show somebody, and I actually had used this in production apps, geez, like 7-8 years ago probably. And I just thought it was kind of cool to try it in 4X and see if it would work out just fine, and it does. So there you go. Have some fun. I hope you learned something.